Hello, Chase Parnas here. Back at it again with another reflection. I'm going to be on week 7 reflection this time. And this week's focusing on the Wonder Journal. So my phone's right here. I got to go on the notes document on my computer. There we go. All right, so first, question 1, spontaneous wonder. Find a way to be able to quickly document these things as they happen throughout the week. Example, as you are walking through your neighborhood, you might wonder how a certain street name got its name. If you have a problem with the notes function, this might be handy. Use safely. All right, so first thing that I have in my notes is something that I always wonder when I'm walking around campus is just how different my college experience could have went depending on where I was located at and staying at a certain dorm. So just me being at Likens, I was supposed to be in VDP, Villa del Puente. And last second, I think it was like a week or two out, there were a couple spots that opened up in Likens just unexpectedly. So luckily, I was able to take advantage of that opportunity and move into Likens. And obviously, like aside from just the benefits, like better bathrooms, bigger dorm rooms, just honestly, a lot of the stuff that is in Likens is a lot better than what you would find at your like typical dorm at U of A or even at other campuses. So aside from that, I would say that just the people that I've met here have definitely impacted my experience being at the university. And I also feel that, as I'm walking around looking at all the other dorm sections and dorm units, how much differently that could have just shaped my whole college experience and just the people that I met, just the groups that I'm in, and even to go as far as to say the decisions that I'm making. And because I know that some dorms, are labeled more like party dorms, like Coronado. So I just see how it might be a different atmosphere there compared to how it would be here, which I know here a lot of the people that I've met on my hall are super genuine and have like similar study habits to how I would like to approach studying and things like working. Not a lot of people here are going out on weeknights. It's more of take the time to get your work done within the week and then be able to go out on the weekend. And also that a lot of them are on sports teams, so they can't even go out at night considering that they've got commitments in the morning. And I felt that that's kind of influenced my decisions in a way, being that, I'm not a guy that likes to, go out on the weekdays, and I'd rather get my work done during the week, use the week to grind, and then weekends, have fun and, kind of forget about all the school stuff and the stressful things that I have going on and go hang out with new people. And so yeah, just it's very it's something that I find pretty interesting and something that that just kind of like crosses through my mind. And even I've got a buddy that stays at Arbol, and I know that Arbel's, not as centralized. It's more on like a corner of a campus more than being centralized to like the whole entire campus. And I feel like that's even affected me as well, just being a walking distance away from the stadium, like a 2-minute walk from the stadium. Going to get food is a lot easier. We've got a great Highland Market that I like to get food at, and I just think that my college experience would be so much different if I was at a different dorm, surrounded by different people. Along with that, let's see. Oh yeah, another thing is just, this isn't really something that I'm curious about, something more that I'm interested in. I just think that the campus is super beautiful, and even just as like, you're walking to your class and you're cutting through the different parts of the campus, and it's almost stress relieving in a way, just being able to take in, all the things around you, all the beautiful buildings, the mountains. It's, typically super sunny and warm out, so I kind of feel like that just like brings up my mood a little bit. And going off of the whole dorm thing, I feel like that also has influenced me majorly, is just being at a beautiful campus, being in, such nice weather, and having so many opportunities to say yes to so many different activities, and how that could differ from a different campus. Like if I were to pick, a colder campus, somewhere in the north, like Colorado or any of those northern states, and how that would affect me, because I know back at home during the winter, it was, some people called it seasonal depression. It was just, around winter time, the night, it gets dark around 4:30. You get home from school, it's dark basically. And, that was something that I almost, I wasn't obviously depressed, but it was just something that always brought down my mood. And I kind of thought to myself, like, how would it be if, I was just in an environment that was warm and nice, and, had year-round great weather. And now I'm here at University of Arizona with that, year-round great weather. And I felt like that's just positively impacted me. And I made that decision, coming here. That was something that was a big influencer when deciding to come to University of Arizona. So sometimes I wonder, just like how other kids are, managing themselves in a state, in any state that's seasonal and winter comes around, and how that would affect me. So luckily I'm lucky enough to be at a place and be in a situation where I can come to U of A. And yeah. All right, number 2, secondly, intentional wonder. Find a 30-minute time slot when you can simply sit, think, and wonder. Intentionally tap into your sense of curiosity and document what comes up. In your submission, also indicate where and when you did this. So I did this in my study room, usually where I'm taking place for most of my other reflections, but right now I'm in the dorm room just because it's getting kind of late. And I kind of just sat in there. There was I know everyone knows about the whole situation with the shooting on campus, and, how stressful that could be for everyone. And I kind of found myself, it wasn't almost intentional, but it became intentional. I was in the study room and I was kind of doing some homework, and then, these alerts keep popping up. UA Alert keeps sending me text messages, and it kind of just, I was like not able to do my work anymore. And I was like, whoa, like this is getting serious. And, just like the whole fact that they weren't able to find him for a little while, or whatever. And, it kind of distracted me from my work. And it was almost like I was just kind of like in my own head, like trying to, sort out my thoughts and figure out, is it safe to be, questions were running through my mind, like, is it safe to be here? Is this something that, I have to be more cautious about? Is this something that I should be worried about, and it should, affect on, decisions of staying here? And after, a lot of pondering, I kind of figured that what I had came to a consensus of is that I just needed to be more aware of my surroundings and the people that I'm around and the situations that I'm in. And I'm not saying that, the whole shooting could have been avoided, because it could have been, a much worse situation as well. So it kind of was just almost a learning lesson for me in a way. And a couple weeks back, I also had a buddy that I had met here through mutual friends from high school that also came here. And my buddy actually ended up getting shot in the finger from a drive-by shooting. And that was a couple weeks ago. And kind of both of those things happening in such a short time range. And I think, that's what ultimately led me to really thinking about this deeply in that study room, kind of just being in my own head. And yeah, and like I said, I just kind of came away with that as a learning lesson, a way for me to, check myself and know whether or not, if I'm being too reckless, are the people around me good? And yeah, I think that's just something that you have to do, not only at the University of Arizona, but I think every campus. I know there was another shooting in the news, or not a shooting, but an incident that happened at Purdue with one of the roommates killing his other roommate. And just, I kind of realized that this could happen anywhere. It's not just at U of A, even though U of A might have a higher risk of, things like that happening. I still feel that it's inevitable anywhere you go. And I feel that there's not much that, a campus can do to, really at least not stop it, but there might be some things to do that can lessen their chances of something like this happening again. I've seen voter petition things being signed about having a check-in, a way to check into a building so that, random people can't just come into that building and pose as a college student, which I think is a good idea. But ultimately, you can't stop people from coming into the campus. I mean, like, what are you going to do? Just like section it off, with a big wall around it? It's not really realistic. So I kind of thought that, since it happens everywhere and I'm at a risk everywhere for things like that to happen, the only thing that I can control at the end of the day is me. I can't control the people around me, besides the people very close to me that I choose to hang out with. And yeah, to just be more aware, more cautious of this, and just to put myself in better situations to avoid things like that, and being in a very a very stressful and a very dangerous environment like that. So what was it like to do this whole spontaneous wonder and intentional wonder? I thought it was pretty helpful, to be honest. I think sometimes it's good to just take a step back from, reality and, being in the now, and kind of taking a step back and looking at what you're doing, and really analyzing and making sure that you're making the right decisions. And also, taking down just random curiosities that you have, because, I know that curiosity is, a great way to, a great opportunity to learn something. So, when you're curious about something, don't back down, but don't back away from it. Figure out why you're curious about it. Figure out what you're curious about, and use it to your advantage ultimately at the end of the day. What were the differences and or similarities between your spontaneous and intentional wonders? So I feel like my spontaneous wonders were more broad. Not stupid things, but just things that aren't as, full circle and bigger lessons and bigger curiosities. But I feel that in the second wonder and the intentional wonder, you start to really dive deep on your thoughts. And I'm not going to say that it was a full 30-minute time slot, but I will say that it was longer than, what I would, how I would think about just a normal situation that's going on. So I feel like, they both inspired curiosity at the end of the day, but I also feel that one was more focused in on, a tougher topic, and, needed that extra thinking compared to the spontaneous wonder that was just more broad, just random things. And yeah. 3, how might the time or place of your intentional wonder have affected what you wondered? So this is a perfect example of the whole shooting aspect. If I had done this assignment before and I had done that 30-minute pondering before, who knows, only God knows what, I would have actually been thinking about in that time. But just because that whole shooting was on my mind and I was getting those text messages, that was just something that I was thinking about. And so I think that time 100% has to do with what you're thinking about. Just different times of the day bring up different, curiosities, and going along off that, your environment. If I'm at home, I'm not worrying about anything that's going on at the University of Arizona. So, I'd be worried about, what's going on around me back at home. So I feel like you're going to be curious about different things in different environments, and that time can have a serious effect on that, just based off, current events, just what's going on in the present and what's happened, and what affects you the most. That's going to lead you to be curious or, learn a lesson from something. So yeah, I liked this activity. I liked the wondering aspect. I like the curiosity aspect. And yeah, that's my weekly 7 reflection. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.